Good evening. Welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program, we'll look at public service and how we can hold leaders in Nigeria accountable. One of the things that we've seen, according to statistics from PricewaterhouseCoopers, is that poverty in Nigeria is largely a result or a byproduct of corruption. And some statistics have mentioned that more than 80 trillion US dollars have been plundered since the creation of Nigeria. And that's money that would have been used for infrastructure, for development in different affairs of life. So we keep talking about corruption and how public accountability can stop or distort the process of growing a country. My name is Ubong Osoro in Abuja. I'm saying welcome to the show. And tonight on the show, we hope to highlight the issues that we have with our politics, with our democracy, and how we can actually make this democracy better, how we can improve our politics, the kind of politics where leaders are accountable to the citizens of the country. Because that is the idea of democracy, a process where citizens can choose their leaders, highlighting principles, highlighting policies, and highlighting the intentions of the leaders, and the majority making the choice. And most times we wish that the majority will make the right choice, but of course they always choose with the facts available for them. But in Nigeria's democracy, there's been a lot of complaints about how we go about running the wheels of democracy in our country. Tonight on the show, we hope to highlight this as we speak to a civil rights activist who've been actively engaging at a call for accountability in Nigeria's democracy, asking that our politicians should be able to live above board, should be accountable to the masses by living above board, and issues of corruption should be minimized if we cannot totally eliminate it. We could talk about that, and some persons have mentioned that there's no country that has totally fought corruption, but can't we as Nigerians be the first example of a country that has fought corruption and eliminated corruption to the barest of the minimum? Those are conversations that we hope to have tonight on the program, but let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll bring our guest as we get straight into the conversation. Please stay with us.
Politics decides our economy. Politics shapes our security. Politics defines our future. But who is asking the hard question?
Is intimidating governors to our opposition, and some allegations even say monies are offered to the tune of billions of naira to these governors to come to the APC.
On Big Talk, we take politics beyond party lines and press statements. We interrogate policies, challenge power,
and it shall be addressed,
and demand accountability from those who govern, from the presidency to the National Assembly, from state governments to grassroots politics. We break down the decisions that affect your daily life. No propaganda, no political comfort zone, just facts, context, and fearless conversations. Big Talk is where leaders explain, analysts dissect, and the people understand.
2015 elections were not held. They are doing rigging.
Don't just watch politics, question it. Tune in to Big Talk on Global Television every weekday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation.
All right, so welcome back to the program. Tonight we look at public service and how we can hold leaders accountable in Nigeria, and stopping corruption. Civil society have been trying, and of recent we've seen a lot of activists who are speaking up and saying, no, we cannot continue this way. We have to stop this tide, the tide of corruption, the tide of inequality that we're seeing in our country consistently. And these are conversations that we keep having. The issue about Nigeria being the very prominent actor in Africa and even at the world stage is one issue that a lot of persons have mentioned. Remember that there was a time that Nigeria, some person used to say, Nigeria is the giant of Africa, but there are questions about how giant is a country today. And tonight on the program, we have joining us to help make sense of this discussion, a civil rights leader and a human rights activist who've done a lot of work in our country, Precious Oroche, civil society leader. Thank you so much for coming on the program tonight.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you. Out of your tight schedule, we've talked about this meeting for quite some time. Thank you.
Yes.
How's Abuja?
Ooh, hot. I don't know, it's a mixed feeling. 1 minute is hot, the next minute is cold, the next minute is dried. It's just, well, I'll adapt.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Right. So let's talk about the cause that you've been prominently involved with. That's activism. How did you come about it? Was it something you noticed along the way? You've always had a liking for activism.
Honestly, I won't say I woke up one day and decided to be an activist. You understand? It was just me complaining. And that's why I like to call myself a concerned Nigerian. You know, the activist world, I feel I've not earned it. I feel I don't deserve it. There are some people I really do look up to. Those are the people I would call an activist, you know. But I just see myself as a concerned Nigerian. Back then in school, during the whole Aluta struggle and all, I was actively involved. I was always there. There was never a reason why Precious would not show up. You know, those that know me when I was in the university will not be surprised to what I'm doing right now. They know that's how she has been. I hate injustice. You cannot buy me over. You must do what is right. You know, except it's for cruise, we don't twist the story. We say it as it is. You know, back then we call ourselves concerned students, meaning we don't put our name to any struggle or any win. It's just for the students, it's for humanity. And graduating from Uniben, I think I brought that to the outside world. I don't put my name to any win or any, I just want it done. And after I'm done, I'm gone, you know, back to my business. A lot of persons don't know I have a business. I have a business, you know. I go back to my business till another issue. It's just unfortunate that every day issues come up in Nigeria. You sleep, you wake up, somebody has swallowed needle. Another thing has happened. Bandit has killed a general, a missing child. NYC, you know, a lot of news, and now is now seeming like it's an everyday issue, is a circle. You know, apart from that, I honestly don't tag myself as an activist. So let's peg it at a concerned Nigerian.
A concerned Nigerian. All right,
yes.
That's fair enough. Okay, so let's look at the struggle for an egalitarian society, a struggle for having a society where there's no injustice. When you look at the struggle, you mentioned some persons who've been before you, the forebears who've walked to this path. Can you point out that there's been progress and the fight, has it really brought some level of, has it made progress?
It was making progress, but the APC regime took us way back.
The current government?
Both the current and the previous, you know. It's as if we went 10 years or 12 years back, you know. But right now, honestly, I would say we are making progress. Although it doesn't look like it, you know, when you look at the media space, when you interview the youth, you know, it doesn't look like it. They are easily discouraged. They don't want to be involved in what bothers us as a nation. However, consistent push from, you know, advocates, people who has made it their duty to remind the people their rights. You know, consistent push from them makes it worthwhile. You know, there was a time when I post on the media, maybe Instagram or TikTok, you get people say, "Oh, she's too loud. Oh, why is she? Are you the only one that is pained?" You know, it took time for me to educate them that this is your right. What I'm asking for is going to benefit me and you. And right now, I can tell you, we have more people agitating. You know, so we can't say it's not, change doesn't happen in a day. It's not something that's going to be spontaneous. You know, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I think there's a way they say that parable. So it's happening, but gradually. Even when you take it to the elections, there were times when people go to vote in elections and they don't know the candidates. They just get there, they get paid, and they put their fingers wherever they are told to. It also graduated to the time when they knew the candidates, but when they get to the polling units, they could change their mind because they really were not interested in, good governance. Now we've gotten to the point where they know the candidates and somehow they are insisting on standing by their votes. So it's a process. Now what I just told you, it didn't happen overnight. Different elections, different years, but somehow the people are getting reoriented, to know what is right from what is wrong. So when you ask, does it have? It has. It might be just one person. I have people in my DMs. Oh, I've never voted in my life, but I'm ready to get my PVC. Oh, I was never involved or interested in good governance. I'm outside the country, but you just made me realize I still have family over there. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, we agitated for this, and the police came out to explain. So they listened to us. It's a process.
Right. So you're seeing the impact of the work that you are doing.
It's slow, but it's
something
moving.
is happening.
Yes.
One of the issues that has held Nigeria spellbound has been the problem of corruption, and we keep talking about it. In fact, the APC government, came to power in 2015 in campaigning on one of the tripartite promises. It was insecurity, corruption, and also fixing Nigeria's economy. But let's stay with corruption because that's one of the things that you've really been passionate about advocating.
Yes.
Why is Nigeria a corrupt country, or maybe even saying so corrupt? And how do we get out of this? Because some persons are also point out to the citizens as to being partakers or enablers of the corrupt practices that we have in Nigeria.
Weak institutions, bad leaders. Weak institutions bet bad leaders. And bad leaders exploits weak institutions. I told someone, I was in an interview where I was asked the question, the citizens, their partakers. I say, impunity thrives when there are no consequences for misbehaving. Do you understand? When there are no consequences for corruption, impunity thrives. If, for instance, you know that when you beat the traffic lights, you go and pay $50,000 or spend 10 years in prison, you would never beat the traffic lights. Do you understand? So when the system is strong and holds people accountable, people will do right by the system. When the electoral when the electoral system is strong and is ready to produce good leaders, leaders will do right by the people so that they'll be elected. But because they depend on godfathers or elite alliances, they don't depend on the people's voting. They do whatever they want and just stay loyal to their godfathers. Do you understand? Right. It's like a circle of corruption. It's not just, it's all involved. We are all involved in the mess. This one affects the other and then the other, and it goes on. But if we can have a good leader who is willing to fix the system, somehow the system will fix both the leaders and the citizens.
Absolutely.
Umaru Musa Yar'Adua said something that he knows that the election that brought him into power was an imperfect election. There's a way he put it. I'm not quoting him verbatim, but he acknowledged that the system, and he made promise that he would fix it. May his soul rest in peace.
Right.
So if we have leaders who are ready to fix the system, somehow the system will fix not just the leaders, it will show on them, but it will also show on the citizens.
Right. So talking about systems,
yes.
We know that some of the institutions that we have in Nigeria that are mandated to fight corruption and financial misappropriation crimes, EFCC, we know them, and the ICPC. But some of the times, like in recent times, we've seen the EFCC go after former Attorney General Malami. We've seen them go after former Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai. But some persons on social media say it is a trial of opposition members.
That's what's going on. Let's say the way it is. The system cannot do much because there's political interference, There's so much limitations on them. You understand? These people who appointed the IG, who appoints the IG, who appoints the director of SSS or DSS, who appoints the chairman of EFCC. It's the system. It's them. They are godfathers. Do you think that the INEC chairman, Amupitan, will do something that will not favor Tinubu? He was asked recently in an event, how will the 2027 election be? Guess his answer, by the grace of God. Someone that was given #1 trillion.
Well, that was before he made further statements.
That's what? What further statements did he make?
He said, by the grace of God.
Yes.
I saw that.
But that was the highlight. I was there in the event, live and direct. We tried to make sense of whatever he was saying. He wasn't making any sense, trying to give reasons. Oh, you send money now. Are you aware that the money might not drop till the next day? You will not get an alert. Do you know? He was trying to make reasons. The only people who agreed to what he was saying was the APC chairman, the APC people there. The only two people who agreed to whatever the INEC was saying was INEC and APC. We are not saying that the alert must drop instantly, but first of all, send electronically. That's what we are saying.
We'll come to the issue of electronic
transmission. No, we'll come to that issue. I'm just trying to say that these agencies or institutions cannot do much because the system appoints them. They need to work independently. Even the judiciary needs to work independently.
So even when we have independence written before the name,
it's still dependence. Who appoints it? It's just like you appointing your son to be a judge over your case with your neighbor.
But in 2015, we saw something very significant. We had an INEC chairman that was serving under a sitting president, Goodluck Jonathan.
Yes.
And he declared that president. He called the election and declared Muhammadu Buhari.
That happens once in a blue moon. That happens once in a while. That happens once in that's a century. It doesn't happen all the time, you know. But there will be signs. There were signs. There were Bush radio conversations then that he wasn't even picking the then president's call. You understand? There will be signs. These signs that Amupitan has showed in recent times shows that he would be worse than Mahmoud Yakubu. There will be signs. It's when you ignore the signs.
Amupitan will be worse than
Mahmoud Yakubu, yes. We all have seen his conversations, what I've listening to him talk. Like I listened to him talk, I'm like, nah, this guy has no interest in doing something different. The Nigerian people must wake up and wake up on time.
Right, so let's talk about Nigeria's people waking up. We've seen a lot of voter apathy of recent. In the last FCT local council elections, INEC said 1.63 million people registered for their PVCs. But when we looked at the statistics of those that came out to vote, right, it was better than previous elections, but still less than 30% of those who would have been able to vote. Yes. Why are we having so much apathy? Because
the people are tired. Nigerian people are tired. They are worn out. When you read and write exam and you are sure you pass, but you go to the result board and you see 0, the next exam will be by the grace of God. Because now you know your lecturer hates you. The department hates you. The department will not fight for you. The faculty does not know you exist. There will be no strength to even read again. These people voted 2023 election and the result that was declared was not what they expected.
But that result said Peter Obi had 6 million votes.
After plenty rigging. We are aware now, a lot of results that we saw was not what was uploaded. And when they saw they couldn't rig it as much as they wanted, they said there was a glitch. This same Mahmoud Yakubu that said we didn't need network for beavers and so on. So the Nigerian people are tired. Their spirits are down and broken. And that's why for AMAC elections, you could see 7%. The leaders are I don't know how I'm going to explain it. You know, they do it to our faces like there's nothing you can do. So it takes a lot of strength and courage to do what I do. The few people still standing, still trying to remind the average Nigerian that we can do this if we come together. It's taking us extra strength to do it. Didn't you see the minister Wike come outside laughing, jubilating that was a very good election? 7%? 7%? Without elections, there's no democracy.
So let's talk about the things you do, right? The other day I saw you on a plane, speaking, and you raised your voice, and some Nigerians said that was disrespectful.
Okay. Yeah.
That we could interrogate with our political leaders in a more civil manner.
Really, I personally I'm not an advocate for peace talk or dialogues. However, I was civil when I approached Aburi, because I know that's who you're talking about, the former Labour Party chairman. I was civil when I approached him, and I'll say it again that the person I responded to, with those statements was not Aburi. If you watch the clip, it was the guy standing beside Aburi, who I later found out was his brother. I only asked Aburi, do you know you are destroying lives of millions of Nigerians? That's what I asked him. If he brings 10,000 that says he didn't destroy our lives, I'll bring 100,000. We did LP. Are you aware in the last election, a woman was stabbed in the eyes, she went to treat herself and came back to vote. Nigerians were determined for a change. But because of your greed and desperation for power, you ruined the party. From one issue to another, he has multiple criminal cases, even in police. At some point, the Attorney General of the Federation had to call that they should gather all his case together in one file. It was too much. Duping even aspirants, forging their signatures. How can you go and sign somebody's signature, your own candidate in LP? You signed and said, I'm no longer, you fake a letter, fake his signature, that he's no longer, he's in the field campaigning, only to be told that there's a letter that says you are no longer contesting, only to find out it was Aburi that forged the letter. His own chairman. So that's actually scared people from the party, scattered. A lot happened in-house that we didn't say out because we were hoping he would change. So when I saw him, I told him to his face, whatever I say in your front or say behind you, I can say it in your before. I told him, I said, do you know you are ruining the lives of millions of Nigerians? We didn't wake up one day and choose Obi as a messiah. We came from a place of tiredness, weakness, and hope. You didn't look at that. You just ruined the party. And that's what I told him. And then a young man beside him told me that I was, am I mad or something? He threw the first jab at me. And as an Edo woman, I responded.
All right, so let's not talk about the response. Well, let's talk about your alliance or your support for Peter Obi, right? Some persons have said, activists, let's be activists and leave politics for politicians.
Politics is our I do not agree to that. Right. Politics is our we must be involved. We must be involved in the conversation. Politics is politics. The rent is politics. Politics affects every aspect of our life. You can't say you won't be involved. Leave it for who? How are you going to be the leaders of tomorrow if you cannot be involved today? No, I refuse to believe that. You don't have to support my candidate. Support your candidate, but have a how do I explain it? Have something you look up to. Have a dream. Do you understand? There are a lot of persons who support candidates that are not mine. And I have no issues with them. I only have an issue when you try to tell a lie on my candidate or try to put my candidate in a position where he's not. I would respond. Apart from that, do your own, let me do my own. I don't believe that youths or activists should not be involved in politics. How are we now going to take over? If not for how expensive politics is and justice is in Nigeria, people like you and I are supposed to be contesting. We should now get involved, even if from the local levels. That's what I think.
So which other parties are you a member of at the moment?
Currently, I'm not a member of any political party, but as long as Peter Obi is in ADC, I am fully in support of ADC.
So you support Peter Obi, even if he contests in 2027. Some persons have said he may be contesting as a vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar.
Peter Obi has said it clearly that he would not.
But what if?
No, there's no what if. He would not be a vice presidential candidate to anybody. He didn't travel around the world to be a vice presidential candidate to anybody. He respects Atiku Abubakar. He loves him. I think he was once his vice, so there's no bad blood. However, this time he is coming out to contest to be the president of Nigeria, and that's what will happen.
So, but we've seen some persons who have said that the Peter Obi that we saw prior to 2020 general election that evoked a lot of love and support from young people.
Yes.
Is now in alliance with maybe people from the APC. A lot of people like Nazriel Rufai, Abubakar Malami, they are in the same boat, the same political party. And some of these people have records, according to our institutions, that may be damaging. Is it right to be in alliance?
According to what institution?
Like the EFCC.
The EFCC
so is it right?
selectively.
Is it right?
Are there people in the APC who don't have records?
But they've also pointed
Are there people in the APC who don't have records? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he was giving back his passports to go for Hajj. The APC is a sham. The FCC is a disgrace. Are there people, and this is what we are talking about, institution being affected by political interference? Are there people in the APC who don't have records? Is there anybody in the APC that don't have records? But the EFCC will turn a blind eye the moment you defect. It happened with Okowa. They turn a blind eye the moment they do selective prosecution, and it's part of the problems we have. So when I see people try to judge El-Rufai, Malami, and the rest, I'm not saying they are saints. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be judged. But are you judging them because you think they are bad or because you think they are not supporting you? That's where I have an issue. However, in politics, you make friends, you make enemies, you make allies to be able to move forward. And if Peter Obi is making allies to be able to push the nation forward, I don't see a problem with it. As long as that ally or those friends does not change his stance, his belief, or dent his integrity, I don't see a problem with it. An African proverb say, to fight a madman outside, you need a madman inside your house.
All right, so one of the institutions that we have is the National Assembly. And the other day I saw you, you were at the National Assembly for several days, protesting for the e-transmission. But the president has gone ahead to sign that bill that was transmitted into law. It is now the Electoral Act as we have it today. Were you satisfied with that process?
I wasn't. Nigerians weren't. But like I always say, the more they resist, the more we insist. I think there's even a call for an act so that the bill be amended. I wouldn't know the dates they've put, but we'll keep pressuring. Do you understand? We want electronic transmission of results, real time. That's all we're asking for.
Okay, go ahead.
The president signing it expressively, quickly like that, that's to show that whatever the National Assembly was doing was obviously from him, from his office. It's no news, though, that the National Assembly, according to what Peter for Nigeria said, is the daycare of Tinubu. They are all the children of the president. A National Assembly that's supposed to perform oversight function. I think our Nigerian youth does not know the importance of the National Assembly. I wish I could explain it, but there's no time for that. They are supposed to be the watchdogs. For those watching us, in case you don't know the importance of the National Assembly, they are supposed to be the watchdogs of the executive. Oh, I want to buy this. The parliament, I want to call them parliamentarians, are supposed to say, oh, how much did you say? No. They are parliamentarians. That's what the terms we use when we were in school. I was a speaker in my department. They say, Oh, how much is it? You said 2 trillion. Oh, okay, you go and audit it. Go and check the price of this. They're supposed to watch over this thing you are doing. No, you are not supposed to do
And
it.
you think they've not
Stop
been
it.
doing that?
What have they been doing it?
I was saying
They sing on your mandate will fall whenever they sit in the booth. That is not. It is fall. They will keep falling. That is not what they should be doing. There should be this space between them, so that there's justice and transparency.
So,
but what we see today, imagine the Senate president telling the parliamentarians that, oh, we have been invited by our mother to come and eat. You see, I really don't want to expand,
because I know you are running out of time, so I'll allow you go catch up your other engagement. I'd like to ask, activism doesn't come easy. You need funding. You need to be able to have resources to go after this. How do you get funded? And somebody will say, who funds you?
If it was FFK you asked this question, you know what he would have.
He said he has short fuse. I remember.
Okay, like I said, I'm a tailor. I'm a fashion designer, right? I've been in that business for a while, and to an extent that funds my lifestyle. You get. Nobody has to fund me. Like I've said, or like I said at the start of the show, I'm just a concerned citizen. At least with the platform I have right now, I could, apply for visa and get it and just leave the country if all I wanted was comfort. But no, I need a better life, not just for me, but for my descendants. So my business funds me. People who believe in the same cause that I do, other concerned Nigerians, they come through for me, and that's it. I've heard so many news or stories, cook up gossip that, oh, she's funded by this, and I threw it out in the air one time. I said, if you know you've given me money to do as a politician, to do this or do that, please come outside and speak. Not the APC. I have friends in the APC, don't get it wrong, but not the APC, not the PDP. No one politician will come out and say, I fund. They can't even assess me. How long did it take you to get me to be here? That's how I don't pick everybody's call. I'm just in a world of my own. When duty calls, when you are in problem, I see I respond to problem faster than pleasure. So the ones I can afford, I afford. The ones I can't, I just let it, or I call someone higher to assist. So the funding doesn't really need to come from, please, if you're watching, I fund myself, my friends fund me, my family fund me, and that's just it. Please, I want to also beg Nigerians, add your voice. Add your voice. It's possible. We can fix Nigeria. I wouldn't want to use the term a new Nigeria is possible, but it's actually possible.
Oh, we're not campaigning. That's
not campaigning.
All right, thank you so much, Precious, for coming on the program. I hope next time it wouldn't take that long for you to respond to us.
I won't, I promise.
Right. Okay, so let's go for a short break, and when we're back, the program still continues. Stay with us.
Politics decides our economy. Politics shapes our security. Politics defines our future. But who is asking the hard question?
Is intimidating governors to our opposition, and some allegations even say monies are offered to the tune of billions of naira to these governors to come to the APC.
On Big Talk, we take politics beyond party lines and press statements. We interrogate policies, challenge power,
and it shall be addressed,
and demand accountability from those who govern, from the presidency to the National Assembly, from state governments to grassroots politics. We break down the decisions that affect your daily life. No propaganda, no political comfort zone, just facts, context, and fearless conversations. Big Talk is where leaders explain, analysts dissect, and the people understand.
2015 elections were not held. They are doing rigging.
Don't just watch politics, question it. Tune in to Big Talk on Global Television every weekday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.